Friday, Friday, Friday. There's no specific direction for this week. I just wanted to catch you up, really. Oh, I'm boiling. One moment, I've got to get this bloody thing off. Yeah, I wanted to just come on here, catch you up on stuff, like real life stuff. The studio, what I'm doing, what I'm planning, the feedback from the last few videos I wanted to go over, and I wanted to just catch you up on some of my sketchbook work, things I'm thinking about. And also I've got some points to make on some product reviews. Number one, the block. I have it in me to create, but I think what's happened is I've gotten my head about it. I think it's because I have got this channel. Now this isn't like, oh my God, this channel. It has nothing to do with that at all. But I think that it's a factor. The channel is a factor. I am not willing to give up weekly postings. And you know what? A lot of you have been amazing about it. Some of you have channels and completely get it. And even those of you that don't have channels but still understand, the support is beautiful. When I started this channel, I never imagined that this community would be as fabulous as it is. We're still a very small community, right? In YouTube terms. But you know what? You're a big one to me. I couldn't ask for a better community. Because I'm so aware my creativity can't necessarily be scheduled. I can't force ideas, I can't force inspiration. It's organic, you know, it's like planting a seed and asking it to grow a vegetable the very next day. That's the equivalent. It's just impossible. It's not going to happen. But because this channel is very scheduled and the work that goes into it is a lot, I think I've overthought it in my head. My head's told me things that aren't true. Because I've got the channel and I want to continue it, I've got this other beast inside me that's going, yeah, you know, we're not ready. We're still on a break. We still got another 15 minutes. And then like going to the complaints department and causing me hassle. And then they're calling up HR and we've got legal involved now. Nightmare. So I think this block has been exacerbated by myself. This week is basically, you're my therapist and I narcissistically just bang on about stuff. Isn't that like what it's like every week though? Number two, not an art review, just more of like keep you abreast of the situation review. So remember I got these a couple of weeks ago and well, these weren't expensive. They were the tempera stick my bobs, like the paint sticks. What are they called? I'll actually tell you. Yeah, paint sticks. That was underwhelming. I don't like them. I do not like them at all. I'm just not getting on with them. I'll show you what I've done and I'll just discuss some of those bits and bobs. Where are you? Where the bloody hell are you? Okay, so before I show you this, let me give you a bit of backstory about how I got to this particular piece, because you know, if you saw it and then nightmare. So I did an eager beaver swatching and I had planned to do a swatching for that video, which I ended up doing anyway, but I did a premature swatching. And do you know what I was left with I really liked as a piece? So I cut it out, which is this side. So this. And I love this bit, you know? So I cut it out and then stuck it in a sketchbook and then I just did this side. I'm just not getting it. I don't know whether I've done any more. Oh, I did actually. I used them on black paper as well because I wanted to see what they were like, and very interesting. Do you know what this reminds me of actually? It reminds me of petrol or oil or something. You know, when it goes on the ground, it makes that like beautiful iridescent film. That's what that reminds me of. I think it's far nicer on screen than it is in person. That's more of a representation of it, you know, it's a bit darker. But I don't mind it on there. But then the problem is working on top of it is a bloody nightmare because it's not oily, it's extremely waxy. I could mark some stuff out, get some stuff down with the idea of going in with like oil pastel. I could do that. But then why wouldn't I just go in with oil pastel? I'm not feeling them. I mean, I like this piece. That one's quite cool, different. And pushing myself, pushing my own boundaries. I'm not saying that this is boundary pushing art at all. I do think that it's got some potential. The other thing that I am not feeling, the pro markers. I know, the pro markers. I think it's because I can't really use them in my sketchbook. Although I have done a tester piece where I have painted this spread in acrylic paint because it's kind of leaves that like plasticky film, doesn't it? So I'm hoping it won't penetrate the pages as much. I'll test that at the end of the video. They'll go through brick at this point. I said this about the art graft, and do you know what? They will. And that's also what I found. They're very, very light. They're not pigmented as I had hoped they'd be, like when they gush out the pen and they're just like, whoo, colour. I don't feel that with these. They're very like washy, which is bummer. Don't judge me on this piece because it was less of, think of it as elaborate swatcheroony, all right? Keep an open mind, guys. I decided to combine the two, see what I could make of it, see if I could push through whatever issue I had. And there's some marks on here that I love. I think it's one of those moments. If it hadn't have been in a sketchbook, I would have cut this bad boy up because you know I love my bloody guillotine. Oh, I love it. Okay, it's menthol. I did say it was menthol. Disclaimer! This bit here, this stripe. And then there's just pockets of fabulousness. I tried to combine these bad boys and they gave good texture, a good contrast of texture, I think. And I certainly will take some inspiration from this piece, but I am struggling with those two mediums. They're just, I think it's because they're so different. I also think that it's because I haven't given myself a chance, you know, to embrace them both the way I think they probably should be embraced, because I've been in a bit of a flunk. 3, sketchbook. It started snowing, didn't it? And you know I love some snow. Oh, love snow. I think it's just, it creates this beautiful film and the texture in the sky, and also it creates an amazing transition between sky and landscape, because you've got your sky and your landscape, right? Then you've got this curtain of snow just kind of dropping on the front, and I think there's something so delish about that. I was still in a bit of a flunk, so I thought, you're going to come upstairs, you're going to look out your window. All the snow has gone since then, but I will insert some photos. I decided to come up, just get my acrylic pens, sit by the door and do something just textural. This was the one I did of one of the hills. I really liked that. It was fun, it was good. I still felt productive. And then that got me into it then, didn't it? Whilst I was waiting for him to dry, I then went ahead and just honed in on like the grass, which I really, really like. And that's mixed media. That is actually, what is that? Acrylic pen and coloured pencil and acrylic paint. So I put acrylic paint wash down. Now, I didn't film these being made, so I'm sorry about that. And I know that one subscriber, Jerry, will be quite grumpy bum about it because he does like to watch me create stuff. And the reason is because I didn't know what I was going to do this week. And had I gone, yeah, actually, let's just be real a minute, let's just do a catch-up vid, I would have absolutely filmed. But at the time, I was just, let's just do a picture a day. Let's just create one thing a day, or do something productive in the studio a day. And these are just part of that. And I love the texture, love the colour. And actually, it's one of the colours that I'm just in love with. Where is it? Earth green. Lovely, lovely colour. And I've actually got an acrylic paint that's very similar, which is green grey. You see how similar that is? Delicious. And then it got me thinking about potentially creating works of mixed media, but the same colour or in the same tonal family. And then I decided to add some sexy texture. Obviously sand. I did this when it was a bit later at night. It started to snow again, but the snow had melted. You see all that sand there? And it absolutely feels amazing. Like on, oh, I love that. And the paper's gone all wobbly because it's such a low GSM. Oh, look at that. I love it when they distort like that. Is it just me? Am I just a weirdo again? Am I being a creep again? Tell me honestly. This one was just a ground and I'm going to go back into it. And I did the same with this one. Again, acrylic pens. They're not groundbreaking pieces, but they get me started. They get, right, okay, we've done something today. This is kind of what I've been doing all week. The other thing is still life. And one thing that I love, and I know it's gonna sound weird, beer bowls. Beer bottles. I don't drink alcohol a lot at all, really. I have probably one blowout a year, which could be borderline messy, but I am a Brit. And Brits are renowned for their drinking culture. You've seen us on the news and like Magaluf with uncompromising situations, right? The other thing is, for those Brits out there, if you comment, I don't trust anyone that doesn't drink, just don't bother. I've heard it my entire life. Just put it this way. Imagine me, my personality, under the influence. Just imagine for a second what kind of chaos that can bring. And so I don't trust myself when I'm under the influence. But my husband is Glaswegian, and well, yeah, need I say more? He allowed me over the weekend, I said I wanted to get in still life. I said, sweetheart, I want to do still life. And he was like, right, okay then. And he knows I love my bottles. So he decided to let me go down the beer aisle. Now, as I stated, I don't drink, so I don't know what these beers are. I don't know. I don't even know if there are beers. There might be ales or something other weird with I don't know. He let me choose them based on their aesthetical value, right? So we've got this banana bread. I mean, look how cute that is. Imagine doing that label. We've also got this cat one. This cat one is, it's really black. The bottle's black, and I just thought it would be quite cool to, you know, render the label and bobbly bits. And they've got this one. Look how cute that is. Look at the shape and then the label and the graphic on it, the font. Love that. And I love obviously my big ginger bottles, which I've got one of. I'm going to get back into still life. We're gonna test that out today. But I'm into my florals, aren't I? So what did I do? I thought bouquet and beer, I called it. I might call beer and bouquet. Bouquet and beer, beer and bouquet. Beer and bouquet sounds better, doesn't it? I started to draw a beer bottle, and then I was like, but I love my flowers. So I started to shove that in. And although, you know, it's quite a dodgy piece visually and potentially aesthetically, and some of the colours are jarring really, aren't they? Let's be honest. But I thought as a piece, how quirky would that be? I love unusual, quirky combos. And if there's something just slightly like a twist in something, I'm all over it. I just absolutely love it. And I think that this is great. There was one piece, it's not even really art, like it's hard to explain, but there's one designer, I think they're more of a designer than an artiste. Basically, they recreated a Mona Lisa painting in fur. Well, I want one, don't I? It's bloody marvellous. You can tell it's Mona Lisa. It's sort of fluffy, and you just want to shove your hands in and rub your face up against it. And I love things that I can touch. Oh, that's why I'm terrible in museums. Because I'm so tactile, you know? I want to feel it. Creepy. I know. What do we think about that idea? Beer and bouquet. Beer and bouquets? I don't know. I've got to paint it and see. Go to the shop, grab some flowers, shove them in. I might even shove them in the bottle. Oh my God, I can't even handle it. I'm so excited. I think there is an artist, isn't there? I remember coming outside of my student house in Plymouth, and across the road from where I lived, there was a church, and on the church step there was a beer bowl with a massive rose in it, and it was so random. And I remember taking a picture. Now, if I can find the picture, I'll put it in now. And if I can't find it, you just see me do that for no reason. Again. But just know that I would have hunted the hell out of it. Google Pinterest is probably the best place to Google this kind of stuff because they're better than Google Images, don't you think? Okay, I'm just going to see if I can do a screen record so you can see what I'm looking at. And you know how un-techie I am. I don't even know how to edit these bloody videos each week for you. I don't. Right, so I need to go into general. How do I do that then? It's not letting me do it. Oh no. Oh my god, this is a bloody nightmare. No. Included controls. Oh, I get it. My god, I know, I'm useless. Okay, so now I can do it. So this was the kind of thing that I was thinking about, but I want it to be a bit more than that, you know? I need it more, like more flowers in there. But generally, this is just a bit basic, isn't it? It's a bit basic bitch type moment. Ooh, that one's interesting. I mean, who doesn't want a pint with a frog next to it? Or is it a toad? It's probably a toad. Love that. Okay. So, yeah, these are just basic bitch type stuff. So if we come out of there and we go to Pinterest, here we go. Now, thanks a bunch. So we go, what was it we said? Still life, painting. Oh, can't spell, with beer bottle and flowers. Search. Oh, here we go, here we go. That one's not too bad. Oh, bugger off. Again, we are limited on the old inspo. So that one's cool. That one's good. Like that one. More though, we want more. So you get my drift. You get what I'm trying to do. You smell what I'm cooking. Anyway, right, let's come out of that. I might do this, you know, where I take these as well as some others that I've got stashed away and get some flowers and do that. So we're going to do that in a bit. Feedback from the last videos. I posted a bonus video this week. It was originally meant to be part of the texture video, but the texture video was so bloody long and I didn't even scratch the surface of what I would normally do. Some of you came up with some amazing ideas. It was Daisy about the paper pulp. Amazing. Hi, Daisy. We also discussed a while back about making a book out of canvas, like a sketchbook out of canvas. I am in the middle of doing that, but I broke my needle. I'm waiting for a replacement, but then I thought, well, I'm just probably going to take it to a seamstress. I know, lazy. The other thing is I know Brenda, hi Brenda, wanted me to demonstrate what I do with the glitter. So the glitter piece, which I'll put in now. The technique I use on getting very even surfaces, and also I said that I would do that, and I will do that because there's a few pieces that will be using glitter. It's just about me kind of getting back on the horse, isn't it? So Brenda, I haven't forgotten about you. I know that you want me to do that for you, and I certainly will. There was also a few demonstrations with regards to gesso sand. I've got all those written down, and I certainly will demonstrate all of the things that everyone has requested I either do, advised I do. I'm going to do all of them. They will be filmed in future videos. The second video, the bonus video that we put up on Saturday, question about doing a kind of once a month art history situation, and I use the arts in the Olympics as a thing, so that is coming. I've also created like a proper backdrop. I'm gonna do it proper. I'll do it proper. It won't be kind of like this. I know that you would accept it like this, but I want it to feel different, because if you do enjoy it and you do like it, then I wouldn't certainly make it our own channel, but I would just continue a playlist. So I'd have a full playlist of some weird and wonderful creative facts. I don't know what it's going to be called yet. I'm probably going to call it Did You Know or So What Happened Was. And the reason is because that's kind of how I start most of my stories. So that's definitely coming. I want to try and do one a month, so that the kind of say 4th Saturday of every month, or it'll be consistent though. You know, once I kind of commit to something, it's pretty hard to pull me away. I'll need to be like hospitalised, God forbid, touch wood. Where's wood? Because that's the last thing I need, guys, I'll be perfectly honest. So we've gone over our 4 things. Block. I know. Sketchbook stuff, material reviews, both of which are quite on the sad side, but that's fine, that's fine. Feedback on the last 2 videos. So now what we're gonna do is try and do our beer and bouquet bonanza. I got up this morning, went to go get me flowers for my beer bottles, and it's snowing, right? So anyone who, well, you may know, you may not know. And whether you agree or not, it is the truth. Even if there's like 1 iota of snow in this country, the country basically stops. That's honestly the truth. And my car slides all over the place. It'll just like, we get it every year. We get snow every year, and it's like every time it snows, the country stops. So I'm not going out on this. No. So, haven't been to the shop to get bloody flowers. I'm thinking about just doing a still life with the bottles, and should we just get on and do that then? Yeah, let's do that. This is like the worst setup I've ever had. So, yeah, that's a bit rubbish. So I'm just gonna pick out the pens. Ooh. Banana bottle. I'm just gonna start really. Ugh. Oh my word. Okay, so I'll let that dry a bit and I'll move on. Is it coming through? Well, it won't because this one's pretty heavily saturated. I'm going to do a green bottle. We don't have a green bottle in front of us, but I'm just going to do this one. Leave that there. Let's see if this goes through. Yeah, no it hasn't. So maybe that's the trick then, to use acrylic paint as a base. Interesting. I'm probably just going to do a small one here, but do you know what? I'm going to do it in blues. I wish I had a darker, like a really, really darker, but like I said, these colours are so muted for some reason. I'm going to keep that one there, and the reason is because it's not dark enough and there's nothing here that I can, see if I can lighten some of these up. Ooh. It's not really working out. I've got some alcohol, what's it called, nail polish remover. So what I'll do, just as a little experiment, see if I can push this around. Ooh, nice. That is delish, isn't it? Oh, just put a blob on and let it do its thing. Oh, that is nice. Oh my God, we're making shit happen here. This is so happening. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to keep that there. Perfect. That made that. Very, very happy with those results. I love the way the nail varnish remover just kind of blends it out and then stays on it. Really, really happy with that. Let's just see if that nail varnish remover has compromised the back. No, it hasn't. A tiny, tiny, tiny bit there. But that is beautiful. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do off camera is paint it in, make it a full spread with acrylics after this is dried, and I'll see you in a moment. Well, That was an interesting little session. It's the next day because I had to let stuff dry. You can see that the bottle is the nail varnish remover. See the bottom of that? It's so beautiful. And then this blue one. Background in acrylic paint, but I quite like that they're floating. I was going to do a whole scene and I'll show you what I was going to do, but decided not to because I quite like the minimalist quality of it. Right, so I did this two-tone sort of wallpaper. Remember I said about doing the stripes, and then what I did is get some sand paste and do the bottom to give it kind of like this shiny matte situation. But I'm really happy with the colour of this. It looks kind of like snow, doesn't it? Like they're in snow, like boop. I'm really quite happy with that, actually. I think it's quite cute. But I didn't want to do it on the big one because I quite like the minimalist. So I did it on a smaller one so that I could compare my ideas. So there's that. So I wanted to see the durability of this paper when it was sort of gessoed or grounded in acrylic. And yeah, it did really well, actually. And then I decided to go mental. I'm not really happy with these bottles. I think I went a bit heavy on the, what's it called? Nail varnish remover. I went a bit heavy on the nail varnish remover. That's why it's kind of like that. But I leaned into it just in case to see how I'd feel about it. And I quite like it. I went with a really mental wallpaper, though that is in acrylic pens. So I just did the texture there. I tried to emulate the bottom of the bottle that I really liked. And I really liked that. And then I decided to do my bamboo in my garden. I'm really quite happy with that. I think it's a really nice texture and I think it will be a really good backdrop for a larger piece. I'll wrap things up this week. Thank you for joining me this week and your ever growing support. So to those of you who are new, welcome to my kind of crazy. I know some of you are binging. Julie, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Shout out to Julie for binging, and I'll just continue to do my best every week. That's my plan. That is the plan, by the way. Show up, put in the work, as much as you can and do your best. You get it. Anyway, thanks guys. You're the best.